Hello everyone, my road trip for 2 weeks throughout Europe is over and I'm celebrating with a nice drink here in a beautiful cafe in Paris. So welcome everyone, nice to see you here. I am in Paris right now. It's the very last stop of the road trip and I went on a 2-week road trip with my friend Evan and a third friend of ours from London all the way to Central Europe and back to Paris. Excuse me. And we did this epic road trip and it was amazing. And today, celebrating with a nice drink. My two friends are beat tired. They had to do a lot more work throughout this road trip, so they're already hitting the hay at this time. But I thought to myself, I'm gonna go out, have one final drink here in Paris before I'm off back home. And today is a Q&A, so feel free to ask me anything about my 2-week road trip through Europe. Right now, I'm drinking a nice Americano in a beautiful cafe. So, cheers to an epic 2-week travel. Ooh, this is an Americano cocktail, and oh, that's so good. It's almost like a Negroni, just slightly different. Americanos are really good, a little bit more Campari heavy. So Isabel, nice to see you here. Let me show you the views. Hello Neboul, bonsoir Neboul. Justine, how excited you're back in Paris. Yeah, not for long, only tonight. It was a long day. And hello Murphy, watching from Ireland. Nice to see you here. Hello Daryl, welcome. Hello Eugene, Alicia, Irene. We got a lot of people tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you here. So feel free to ask me anything about my road trip. So I did a road trip starting in London. It was 2 weeks. Carmen says, is Paris as romantic as it seems? I've been to Paris many times, and yes, it is indeed the city of love. It is gorgeous, it is romantic, it is a wonderful, wonderful city. Susie says, are you getting sick? I'm a little bit under the weather. I am indeed. Yeah, it happens. Nicole, nice to see you here. You miss Ireland right now, says Eugene. I can't wait to go back to Ireland. I would love that. So let me show you, let me pull up a map of Europe right now and show you the road trip I went to. So what day did this road trip start? This road trip started February 18th. February 18th. I did a live video just before, so February 17th was the start for me. And I started in London. I met up with Evan in southern England. You're not gonna see my face too much because I'm gonna pop up the map of Europe. But we started over here in the south of England in order to take a nice journey through Le Shuttle, which was, I hopped on Evan's car. We met our third friend there as well. And we took Le Shuttle, which is this train that carries cars underneath the English Channel, and went down to Calais, France, which is the northern coast of France. Then we drove our way through Belgium. And in Belgium, we stopped at Brussels and also many other places. So we went to Brussels. Thank you so much. So we went to Brussels. Ooh, this is amazing food. So we went to Brussels, we went to Bruges, and then through Bruges, we went down into Berlin. So Berlin, you see the star there in Germany. And then we made our way to Poland. In Poland, we stopped at an abandoned military base called Borny-Solonowo, which is in that northwest area of Poland. Then Warsaw, Krakow, and then Krakow down to Slovakia, where we went to the middle of Slovakia to Bratislava. I went to Vienna for a day, then down to Budapest, and then back to Vienna, and then through Munich, and then we stayed at Strasbourg, and then back to Paris. And that was the journey right there. So that was a quick journey, everyone. It was epic. So it was mostly Central Europe. But before I get to the Q&A, let me show you what I'm eating right now. So check this out. So right now I'm eating duck breast, pink just like the Parisians have it. And look at that, wow. Oh my, a potato puree and some bread. Oof. Okay, just look at this duck breast. Oh, that's delicious. Oh my God. Ida says, stay well. Evan and you made a long distance around Europe. It was great. So let me try this duck breast and then I'll get to your questions. Justine, did you like driving? I didn't do any of the driving. My friend Evan did all the driving. For people asking where Evan is, he and our other friend went to sleep. They've been very tired. Today was a long day. We went over to research another potential person that could be on their tours. And maybe if I ever decide to expand to Paris, he could be on one of our tours. And that was quite a long kind of chat with this awesome expert in vampires. And after that, my friends are beat tired, so they're heading off to sleep as I'm grabbing one last dinner. Cheers. Oh wow. Great duck breast. Oh, I like it. Ooh, great potatoes. Great mashed potatoes. Wow. Wow, that's great. The duck is a bit rough. Duck is very hard to cook. This duck is a bit more on the rougher side, but the sauce is great. Michelle asked, does duck taste like chicken? Duck is closer to like lamb. It has its own unique flavor, but it's to me it tastes closer to lamb than chicken. It's a bit interesting. It's a bit more of red meat than white meat like chicken is. Marie says, I'm always making you hungry. Oh, I'm glad I am. Eugene says, what time is it in Paris right now? It's pretty late. It's 10:30 something p.m. right now. Jimmy says, vertical streaming is unwatchable. Well, sorry, Jimmy. That's what I do when I do restaurant live streams. I go vertical. Daniel says, the city mostly want to come back to again that you visited during your road trip. That has to be Vienna, by far. Vienna just stunned me. It was an amazing trip. Great city, beautiful architecture everywhere, lots of restaurants, great food. I really enjoyed the massive cafes. I got the vibe that there's a lot of modern cafes as well. I have the feeling that Vienna has way more stories. I would love to go back to Vienna. Murphy says, any new trips planned? Yeah, something coming up soon. I might go live once or twice from a new location very soon. Stay tuned. Justine says, duck is a very gamey flavor. I'm not a fan. Yeah, it's a very interesting flavor. We thought you were going to Transylvania, says Tanya. No Romania. I had to come back to a place where I can actually take a flight back to New York easily. And my friend Evan had to drive back to England. Our other friend also had to get back to England. Ida says, never tired of Vienna. Oh, I'm so glad. Murphy says, the cheer me up, bud. Hey, I'm glad, Murphy. Hey, looking forward to seeing stories about Paris. I'm only here tonight. I'm off tomorrow. So I wish I could cover more Paris. But I would recommend checking out my older videos of Paris. I've explored Paris many times. But on YouTube, you can see videos from my adventures in 2022 and then adventures in 2023 as well. I think I have some Paris videos from before then as well. Do you like Berlin? I like Berlin. I would go back to Berlin, but Vienna blew me away, for sure. Is your job to travel around the world, says Chris. It is, yes. Yes, I'm a professional content creator. So my job is making videos and posting them on social media. It's an interesting job. It's like a combination of entertainment and journalism. I don't consider myself a journalist, but I do take you to real places, real locations, tell you real history, and then entertain you with it. So yeah, that is my job. It's entertainment. Susie, do you know how much total you spend on gas? I think the grand total to gas is around 500 euros. Central Europe was way cheaper. Western Europe now, when we started and then now where we're ending, is way more expensive. Doreen is calling me the modern day Anthony Bourdain. And I really appreciate that, Doreen. Thank you so much. You know, I would never intend on replacing Anthony Bourdain. But, you know, I think he did leave a hole after he passed. Too soon. He passed too soon. And yeah, I think he left a hole of someone who travels around the world and investigates culture. I'm not interested in the same things as Anthony Bourdain for sure. So I would never try to do exactly what he did. Because he was more interested in the politics, he was more interested in the current events, more interested in kind of the grittier sides of cities. I've never been so fond of those things, or interested in those things, is a better word. So, but I think there is an appetite still for travel content that goes into culture, that enjoys the city, enjoys places, gets into the food, gets into the cultural customs, gets into the unique history of it all. LAB says hello. Hello, Daniel and Marie. Nice to see you here as well. I've enjoyed the history lessons. All the places you've gone on this trip, the churches you have gone into and shown on the outside. This is Kathy. Oh, yes. Carla says, finally caught you live. Hey, Carla. Dindin says, I love the finer things in life. I gotta admit, I do. My focus isn't on luxury specifically, nor am I ardent about going on luxurious experiences. Obviously that's not the case because I'm going to a lot of these cities and I'm staying Airbnbs. Luxury is not my top priority, but I do like traveling comfortably, and I like places that warm my heart. So that's why I tend to focus on more interesting history, quirky history. I tend to focus on cities with a lot of life, a lot of cool architecture, some interesting aspect to it that brings joy to my heart. That's my focus, more so. What's the beverage? It's an Americano cocktail. It's gin, Campari, and vermouth. There should be a Negroni, but I think the actual portions are different from a Negroni. It's really good. How much do you spend in food and lodging? Great question, Maureen. So Evan actually did an entire spreadsheet. I think we're spending around 1,800 euro in total for this trip per person. We stayed at Airbnbs. Each Airbnb had 3 bedrooms. Airbnb split proved to be relatively cheaper than a hotel room. And it was amazing. It was amazing staying in all these Airbnbs. So about 1,700. That's including Airbnbs, including including gas prices as well, and some things like tolls. So 1,700 euro plus food. Food, we splurged in a few places, so it kind of went a little bit beyond 2,000. So for the total trip, I think I'm spending around 2,100 euro total on the trip. Brad makes a good point. He says, how much was airfare? So 2,100 within Europe, plus airfare. So airfare, I spend quite a lot. I spend like 1,100 on airfare. So 3,200 or so in total was this trip. Grand total was 3,200, give or take. A few $100 or so. Dinda says, did you have a planned route? Yes, we did have a planned route. The planning mostly went to Evan. He did a great job of figuring out all the places to go to, how to drive there, how long it would take to drive there, where to go, what to see, potential places we could stop by. I chose the Airbnbs because I'm very good at choosing Airbnbs. And in this trip, I chose also a lot of the food stops because I'm also very good at finding food stops fairly quickly. So that's what I did. Was it a car rental? No, we used Evan's vehicle. If it would have been a car rental, it would have been very expensive. 1,000 euro more or something like that. It would have been too expensive actually. Nancy says, I found your live. Hello from Puerto Rico. Hey Nancy, thank you so much for tuning in. Bienvenidos. Ojalá todo está bien. South America is the future, says Brad. Well, maybe one day I'll go to South America. Barra says, do you consider Prague on the road trip? I did, yes. I consider Prague on the road trip. We consider Prague on the road trip. We decided to do Vienna, as per my request. I've been to Prague before. I personally did not get the best impression from Prague. That's my personal opinion. Though I would return and give it a second shot. But I did want to go to Vienna at all costs. So I personally requested Vienna, even though it wasn't really an Evan or other friends' priority. This is too good. Did you visit the Olympic venues? No, Shiv. I've been here a very short time, so I won't be able to visit the Olympic venues at all. Sharon says, where are you eating? Duck breast, mashed potatoes, or puree as I say here. Nice sauce. Americano cocktail, very similar to Negroni. And some pieces of fresh baguette. Ooh, look at that. Justine says, back to baked beans on toast when you get back home. You know, traveling is indeed expensive. It is indeed expensive. So sometimes I do have to go through moments where I have to save more money and be a bit more frugal. Daniel says, yes, Vienna is close to Bratislava. My favorite cities during the trip. Hey, man, I'm so happy you enjoy seeing those two cities. Let me know, what were your favorite cities in this 2-week trip? I showed you basically all the major cities I've been to. I went live nearly on a daily basis. Only one day I took a break, and that was the day I was back in Vienna. So you basically saw all the locations I've been to. What is your favorite location that you saw on video? What cocktails are popular in Paris? Paris is really good with cocktails, I must say. Mojitos are ubiquitous. So you can find a mojito basically everywhere. You can also find a pina colada in many places. Which me as a Puerto Rican, I'm very proud you can find those two cocktails. Negronis are also commonplace. Americanos are pretty commonplace. You won't find an Americano cocktail really outside of France or Italy. Most bartenders wouldn't really know what Americano is. And you can get all the classics. You can get a whiskey sour, you can get a Mai Tai in many places. Yeah, you can get a lot of the basics, like gin and tonic, of course. Anthony says, I love Vienna. Of the cities you visited, where could you see yourself living? Of all the cities we visited, I could see myself living in Vienna. For sure. For sure. I just immediately fell in love with that city at first glance. Vienna, for sure. How beautiful the views are. Oh my god. It's Sunday night, so things are a bit quieter, and I'm kind of glad they're quiet. Firestorm says, you're live, Ariel. I did miss it this time. Hey man, thank you so much. Bree says, you're a very experienced person. It's evident. Ooh, let me know, Bree. What do you mean? Experience in what way? Yeah, I've been very lucky to travel frequently for the past about 7 years. A little bit after. So my first year of urbanist, I started making videos. So it took me about 1 year to start going abroad through making videos. So 6 years. Nicole says it's time to improve your German. Oh, I wish. I gotta improve my German. Yeah, that's for sure. Didn't really had an affinity for Krakow and Vienna. Krakow was amazing. Krakow's another city I would revisit. I really did like Krakow. David, for him, was Waterloo. Ooh, all right. I'm glad you enjoyed Waterloo. Juan says, have you been to Caracas? I haven't been to South America, period, yet. But I do want to go. Bree says you're well-traveled, worldly. Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's a bit of a trap if you think yourself to be worldly, because you will always meet someone more worldly than you. That is a fact of life. You think you're something, you always meet someone who's more. But I'm grateful that I have had immense experience going into cities in Europe and North America and really embracing those cities for a longer period of time. I'm very grateful that I've been able to do that. It's definitely not the experience that everyone goes through, and I've learned through this road trip. This road trip was wonderful. I'm a bit tired. I got a bit sick. I came down with a cold. So it was a bit intense, but I'm very grateful that I was able to hop around, but I realized how much I love taking it easy and enjoying my sweet time in each location. It's something I really, really enjoy, and I realized it kind of reinforced my decisions that I made in the past and lingering in the city for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, sometimes more longer. And yeah. So I would recommend traveling slow. I've done now both of them, travel fast and slow. I could say, yeah, I still think traveling slow is the best. Traveling fast is great to kind of get a highlights of a bunch of things. This road trip was great to see, ooh, this is interesting. Oh, that's still a bit boring. Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, this is underrated. Oh, that is very popular but still worth it. I got a holistic sense. This is something I thought I would enjoy, but not so much. I got like a holistic sense of what I wanted to see. But next time I travel, I'm going to do it slower. Shib says, it's good you're taking it easy. Slow travel, slow TV is the best way to live life, says Daniel. Have you got any tips on what to pack when you're traveling? I packed a bit too much. So my pro tip, especially if you're traveling in the winter time, is to be very smart in how you layer. I'm very I like matching my clothes. but you don't need to match your clothes per se. But I would recommend to have layers as opposed to one big heavy jacket and a few small layers. The best thing about layers is that you can shed them when you're traveling in wintertime or colder seasons. So, for example, for me, I have t-shirts. I have like 3 t-shirts, 3 different colors. These t-shirts are comfy because these t-shirts, I can wear them just as is. So I still look good just wearing this t-shirt. It's a nice t-shirt to wear alone, which I barely do because I don't really wear t-shirts alone too much, but if I had to, I could. So that's number 1. That's like the base layer. And I had a tank top. Just in case this got too hot, I can wear a lighter shirt. Then I have this kind of heavier denim shirt, but I also brought a dress shirt, which was nice, that I can both tuck in or leave tucked out, and that's great for like going out. I use that for like Vienna. I have like a flannel shirt, which is a bit more rustic. It was good when we went to more of those outdoorsy places. And then I have one other shirt that's a wool button down. And that wool button down will warm you up. So I can put a shirt underneath and wear that wool button down. I'll be very warm. But after that, I have a sweater vest, and you probably saw me wear the sweater vest maybe twice in this trip. And that sweater vest, I can put it over all those layers, so it combines with all of them. It's a dark gray sweater vest. It's 100% wool. I got it in Scotland. I love it. And that sweater vest is great because if I need a layer to wear and it's really cold, that's great. Or if it's like springtime, like it was in Vienna or in Budapest where it was like more spring weather, I end up putting that sweater vest and I felt very good. I didn't need to wear a heavier jacket. So that said, I also end up bringing a lighter, like a jacket, like a mid-layer jacket that's Arc'teryx, and that's kind of a polyester or nylon jacket. And then I got my heavy wool coat. So all that combined, I have a lot of layers in case it got very cold, which it did like twice in our trip. We went through like mountains. And when it was warm, I was able to shed all those layers. So I would recommend being very precise with layers. Have everything that combines well with everything. Because if you bring something that does not combine well with anything else, you're only going to have one scenario you can wear that shirt or that blouse or that dress or that sweater. Be sure to have something that just kind of combines well with everything else. That's my number 1 tip. Other things is, there's a lot of things, especially in Europe, that you don't need to buy beforehand. So you can bring yourself 1 bar of soap, 1 toothpaste, a toothbrush. If you're a guy or you have a beard, you can bring yourself maybe a small little bottle of shaving cream or something like that. But if you need more, you can buy it here in Europe for relatively cheap. You know, like this, either same price as America or just a bit more expensive, or just a bit more cheaper. It'll be around the same price. You won't be spending too much. And that is what I recommend, because you don't want to overpack a bunch of toiletries, which you may not use. And if you need to use them, just go to one of the grocery stores. Many of the big European cities have many grocery stores similar to many American cities. And you can buy yourself that bar of soap, that toiletry. And also, as for pants, I only brought 2 pairs of jeans. It's smart to bring at least 2 pairs if you can. You don't really need it. This might shock some people. You don't really need 2 pairs. If you have pair of black jeans, it can last you for the entire trip. You may need to wash them once, but it can last you the entire trip. Because black jeans, you know, you're not gonna see how dirty they could get if you're like hiking or something. But I brought 2 pairs of these. A black pair and like a dark blue pair. Irene says you need to take something dressy. That's the challenge. I usually bring Converses. These because they look good in the city and they're white. I could have wore boots, which would have been nice, a bit more dressy, though they could have gotten pretty beaten up. It's tricky when it comes to dress shoes. So if you know ahead of time that you will be going to like an opera or some type of like higher end party, then yeah, you might need to bring yourself dress shoes. You might need to, if you're a guy, you might need to bring yourself a good jacket. Nicole says my experience is that things on the road trip never go as planned, and that's okay. Do you have that same experience? No, Nicole, I know what you mean, but I was with 2 professionals, Evan, and our third friend is also a professional tour guide. These guys have done road trips for many years, professionally, in all sorts of circumstances. So they know their stuff. So no, there was no big hiccups in our journey, actually. Didn't ask, did the Airbnbs have washer and dryer? They all did, yes. All the Airbnbs we stayed at had a washer. Only one Airbnb had a dryer. And we stayed in 7, 8, maybe a little bit more, 9 Airbnbs. How do you meet Evan and your other friend? The third person on our group is a friend of Evan's. He was a professional tour guide. How I met Evan? Evan was a fan of Urbanist, and he offered to show me the Barbican in London when I visited London back in 2018 for making Urbanist live videos. Some of those live videos, you can still find them on Facebook. And Evan showed me around the Barbican, and we did a live video. It was really interesting. And then we collaborated many times after that. He showed me another cool place in London after that, which was the World's Fairgrounds in the 1800s. And that's a video that you can find on YouTube. And then he showed me the Peloponnese in Greece, because he's from there, and he invited me over. And it was a fun time. Adam says maybe bring a suit on the trip. Problem with the suit, it's if you're really hopping around a lot, or you don't intend to go to anywhere dressy, a suit is a pain. The suit jacket specifically, because suit jackets can get crumpled up very easily. They're bulky. They're hard to fold. It's a bit tough to travel with a suit. But if you need to do it, you should do it. First one says, pray for me. I will be on the plane for the next 10 hours next month. I'm not looking forward to it. Oh my God. Good luck, First one. Are you going back to New York, says Nasimia. Yes, I am. Susie says I should take a break. Unfortunately, I won't have enough time for a break, because I'll be going to another special place very soon, next week. The week after, you'll be seeing another location. I won't tell you what it is. I don't know exactly when I'll be able to go live, because I'm basically going to another location to make short videos for a really exciting sponsor. But yes, stay tuned. Then after I'm taking a break. And then I am delaying the premiere, everyone. I'm delaying the premiere for the Athens Urbanist to March 21st. Thursday, March 21st will now be the official premiere date. Time was getting a bit tight. I have this cool sponsor coming up next week. I didn't have time to really do the premiere this upcoming week, unfortunately. So I'm moving things 2 weeks. Paris says, black jeans and a dress shirt will get you by in the most fancy places. Yes, it's a good pro tip. I think you should all travel in a camper van and film the journey like a Top Gear episode. I was tempted to invite my friend Maria, my editor and videographer. She's done a great job. You've seen snippets of her on my Instagram stories, but you've seen her work on my short videos about Athens, about Edinburgh, about New York. And she's currently finishing editing the Athens Urbanist. And I was tempted to invite her on the road trip to make a vlog series, but it just did not prove to be feasible. It would have been a bit expensive. I quite didn't have the full budget to do that. And then it would have been cramped, the car, unfortunately. Nasimia says, what other countries did you visit apart from Europe? I've only been to North America and Europe thus far. So I've been to Mexico, Canada, the US, of course, Puerto Rico, and in Europe I've been to a lot of places. This trip we visited 9 countries. We drove 2,800 miles. That is the length of the US. So from London to Central Europe to Paris, 2,800 miles was the total trip. The length of the US. Nicole says, when you come back to Europe? You gotta stay tuned, Nicole. Great question. Do you prefer Europe or America? Says Jaro. You know, I love my native New York. The only other place I would live in the United States of America is really Boston. Probably be the only city I would consider living in. I love America, I love the country, I love the history, but I just do not meld with the city. I am not a car driver. I don't like using a car. I don't like being dependent on a car. I don't like parking. I don't want to think about owning a car. And there's not that many cities that are as walkable as New York and Boston. Please do Toronto. I'm sure you'll like it. Oh yeah, maybe. Miami is another city I would consider living in. Daniel, thank you so much for mentioning that. Yeah, Miami probably the 3rd city that I would consider it. There's really not much else. Not Seattle, not Chicago, not LA. Nicole asked, I managed to go into the cathedral in Strasbourg. No, I did not. Sorry, I got a little peppercorn. Can't swallow that whole. Hey, Nasimia says, I love Egypt. I'm hyped to go to Egypt at some point. I would love to go, 100%. Kathy says, why not LA? It's car dependent. It's very hard to live in LA without using the car. I don't want to be car dependent. I want to be able to walk around, take a train, take buses, wherever I need to go. I don't want to be thinking about a car. Chris says, you don't need a car at all in San Francisco, but San Francisco has other problems. I haven't been there yet, but San Francisco does not sound too pleasant in the city center. Sharon says, would you consider going the full coast of the UK? Yes, I would. Justine says, wait until you see Australia, you want to stay. Susie says, might as well do a road trip across the US. Yes, I gotta find a willing friend to do a road trip across the US. Hey, Isabel says, please give our best to Evan. He was a great travel companion. I sure will. And our other friend was as well. So it was awesome to join both of them on this tour. Thomas says, why Boston? In North America, aside from Miami, it's the only city that you can easily walk around. It's dense. There's a lot of stuff to do. It has an old style as well. I really like Boston. Any plans to go back to Greece, says Jills. You look so at home there. Oh yeah. I think I will. Oh my god, we'll do US with you in the red Mustang, says Justine. Yeah, convertible Mustang. There we go. Hey, what about Greenland? I would love to go to Greenland. Ida says 2,800 miles, urbanist road trip from London to Central Europe and back. Let me write it down, won't forget. Hey, yeah. How about Jamaica? I would love to go to Jamaica. Jamaica, I would be genuinely interested in. It's another big island in the Caribbean. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm very curious to learn more about Jamaica. Firestorm says, Evan is lovely. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, feel free to ask me any other questions about the road trip. I would love to answer them. I'm gonna stick around for 5 more minutes so I can enjoy the rest of my meal, and then that would be the end of the road trip. Oh my god, that was an epic road trip. I really enjoyed it. It was such a blast going through all these places. I really got to see so many different sites and so many different locations. And I'm really grateful that so many people tuned in and enjoyed them as well. Irene says, when you go back to Santorini, I would 100% love to go to Santorini. But now, Santorini is getting way more expensive. So it would require a way higher budget. And what was your favorite area of Greece? Athens would be the place I would live. Favorite place in Greece in general was Naxos. The island of Naxos. Devin says, he said that Evan had to drive 7 hours. Evan drove one stint of 7 hours and another stint of 8 hours. And the other stints were 5 hours, like 3-4 hours, and then the other ones were about that time as well. So Evan drove a lot. Were there bathroom breaks? Yes, but not too many. Maybe in those 7 hours, there was maybe like 4 bathroom breaks. It wasn't too many actually. Maybe 1 every 2 hours or so. And like a food break as well. Will you ride a bike in Europe? I would 100%. Shiv, great question. How German was Strasbourg? I couldn't tell. I was there only for a day. Nicole earlier asked, did I go to the cathedral? I did not get to go to the cathedral, which is a shame. I would love to have gone into the cathedral. So I don't know how German it is. It did strike me to be more German than the rest of France, that's for sure. It was an interesting combination of German and French. Iris says, I would love to go on the World Food Tour with you. Hey, Iris, I hope you do. Daniel says, we already miss Ariel here in Europe and his live shows. Hey, I'll be back. Gary says, Evan must have a bladder like a camel. I think he does. Marie says, Evan got to sleep in the castles. He did indeed. And someone asked me, are we doing a live video with Evan? No, this right here is the final live video of our 2-week trip. Naturally, it was a lot of driving for Evan, so naturally he had to get some rest, and I understood, so I decided to go out on my own tonight. What was your favorite meal on the trip, says Emerald? I think my favorite meal was this restaurant called U Riktara in Banska Bystrica in Slovakia. It's a tiny little restaurant in the historic town of Banska, and it was delicious. It's the one where I posted fruit dumplings, these dumplings stuffed with mixed berries, with the berry sauce all around it. It was delicious. Really, really great. And then we had a lot of other plates. I was just blown away by that meal. I'll make an Instagram highlight reel so people can watch all the Instagram stories I posted throughout this trip, so you can replay them. And then I think my second favorite meal was a schnitzel in Vienna, which I also posted on Instagram stories. And those were great. What are the most interesting places to go in Paris? A lot of places. Watch my older live videos. It'll be too long to list right now. But if I'll tell you one place, definitely go to the Eiffel Tower. And go to Sacré-Cœur. And go to Place de Vosges, which is a beautiful little plaza in the center of Paris. Susie says the pierogi with sugar crystals, yes. We'll be going back to Europe in the summer. Hopefully, Tony, hopefully. I would love to do more Europe. I would love to go to Japan. So maybe I would be lucky and get way more people tuning in. And Sharon says, really enjoyed the vlogs. I'm so glad. Where did you get recommendations for local food? We didn't rely on locals too much because we didn't have quite enough time to meet that many people. So most of the food I just searched on Google Maps. We searched on Google Maps and we found something. Chocolate cake sounds good, says Firestorm. Oh, yes, it does. Best beer in this trip. The best beer was this Czech beer made fresh in Slovakia. Actually, no. Number one beer was right by Orava Castle, which is Nosferatu's castle in Slovakia. Oh my. It was this little restaurant called Castellan, and highly recommended. The beer was so fresh. It was just mind-blowing. And I think that I posted that as a short video, so check out that short video. Lunar says, my World War II veteran grandfather died 2 days ago. Hey, my condolences. It seems like he lived a long life. My condolences. Susie says, I will miss the daily live streams. Hopefully I get the daily live stream soon. I'm gonna need a break from daily live stream, but hopefully there'll be another opportunity. Oh, all right, everyone. That was an epic road trip. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna let you know the name of this place before I head out. Let me pop it up right now. The place is Le Compas. Le Compas. Check it out. Highly recommend it. I actually really had a blast here. Le Compas. Really, really good place. I'll show you to you. It's nice. Hopefully I can still get some dessert in before I go. But I'm back to New York City. But not for long, because I'll be showing you another location in 1 to 2 live videos in a new place. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really fun. And then the premiere for the Athens Urbanist documentary series will be March 21st at 7 p.m. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. This was an epic 2-week road trip. I couldn't have done it without you. You, the audience, making videos so worth it. With these long live videos and short videos and documentary series, you really make it, as an audience, you're such a pleasure to show these videos to and chat with here on these live videos. So thank you so much. Round of hearts to all of you who tune in and make such a kick-ass urbanist community. Because it's like hanging out with a huge group of awesome friends and enjoying our time. And huge round of hearts to Evan, who did a huge amount of planning and driving. Huge round of hearts to our mysterious third friend. Maybe one day we'll collaborate again and maybe I'll show him. But he was a cool guy as well. Awesome tour guide too. And thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon in a very unique place that I've been meaning to go for quite a while. Stay tuned the week after next. For now, I'm going to take a break when I get back to New York. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. And stay curious, my friend. Bye-bye.